Stay tuned for a retro gaming video with your host Bigfriendly here at the Gen X Memories YouTube channel.
Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. Okay, this game by Tigervision, Marauder. You know, I was thinking of that word, Marauder. I don't know in my entire life if I've ever used the word Marauder in a sentence. When I stopped and thought about it, I was like, Marauder, what does that even really mean? You know, so what the heck, I'll look it up. Marauder, here it is, a noun. One who roams from place to place, making attacks and raids in search of plunder. One that marauds. Okay, that makes sense. I can go along with that with this game. Okay, before I play a game of Marauder and show y'all the actual game, there's something I want to share with y'all. Now, as I make more and more of these videos, especially about these games that are kind of obscure or, you know, are forgotten about, the more I come to realize that a lot of them, they're not as bad as I would have thought they would have been. There were some dogs. You know, I still think Apollo game sucks. I don't care what anybody says. But, you know, Tigervision, you know, they had a couple that I'm not a big fan of, but some of their games are really good. And Marauder is not a bad game, but it could have been so much better if they just would have done a little bit more work on it. But it's not a bad game at all. It's different. It's, you know, with so many games for the 2600, you know, coming out back in 82, 83, at least this one has its own unique personality. Now I'm going to go ahead and play a game, and then, like we usually do, after the game's over with, we'll look into the background of this game, try to find out some more about it. Alright, let's play a game of Marauder. Okay, Marauder is a little bit like Berserk. I got lucky right there. Oh, I got lucky again. There's a bit of luck where you start. There's 6 different screens in the game. The object, oh my, this is crazy. You don't usually start like this. That yellow glowing globe, you want to shoot that. And the quicker you shoot it, you get all the bonus points left over from the timer. When the timer at the bottom runs out, it's over, you die. Now, you'll notice that the enemies start moving faster, pretty quick. Now, another thing that's different about this game versus other games is that the line of sight deal. You'll notice that you don't see them except whenever you can see how they disappear. It's like unless they're in your line of sight, you don't see them. Kind of a cool thing for an Atari game when you think about it. But you can see it's already starting to ramp up. It starts out slow. You get 50 points for each robot you kill or enemy, whatever they're called. There's also an armor thing. You'll see if you can get it. It's kind of like it gives you invincibility for maybe 30 seconds or so. But the best I've done is 30,000 points. Also, every other screen you beat, like when you beat it twice, you get a free life. It only shows 3 at the bottom left, but you'll have more than that. Look, I see how fast it's going. This has really been a lucky game right here. I'm getting lucky. Usually you don't start the level, you know, right there where you know you're at the, you know, you can see the enemy base you have to destroy. It doesn't take long though. Most times when you play this, you're done in just a few minutes because there are like 4 different game variations where you can start it faster, but I don't see the point because it doesn't take long for it to get hard. See, look, I mean, but this is a cool game. It's not perfect, you know. You get a lot of cheap deaths. Sometimes you'll spawn. Okay, I got the invincibility thing. You saw that. It looks like a sombrero. Again, I'm getting lucky. I'm starting out. It's random, so usually it's not this lucky. You see how crazy it's getting? obviously, dadgummit, the quicker you finish the level, the more bonus you get, because, you know, the timer goes down. See, it's getting to be so hard. I died, but there's a sombrero. Ah! Man. Jeez. You see how crazy this game is? Oh, man. Get on a long hallway like that. Oh, get it that. Okay. You can go there and just start slaying them. Just running. You don't even shoot them, just run into them. You get 50 points for each one, so go ahead and kill them. Another cool thing is once you clear a board off, for the most part it stays empty, except for this board, the final board. They respawn on that one, but the other ones, if you clear the enemies off, for the most part they don't come back, which is cool. Especially when it gets really hard like this. Whew. Oh yeah! Gotta hurry, it's gonna run out. Okay, here we are. Yeah! Yes, get the hells. Come on, yeah! I think the highest score in this game between galaxies is pretty low. It might be around 30,000. Because it's just so freaking hard. Yeah, but see how you spawn? Sometimes it's not fair, which kind of sucks. Try to get in a long hallway like that. Gives you a better chance. See? Like that. I'll try to avoid close quarters. Woo! Man, this game is crazy. Come on. That line of sight that's really neat for an old Atari game. Come on, come on. Yeah! Watch out, watch out. There they are. Show yourself. Don't, you sneaky little rascal. Okay. Ow, doggone it. I'm about done here. That's it. Doesn't take long. Cool game though, it really is. Okay, I was trying to find some information about the guy who programmed Marauder for the 2600. His name is Rourke with Gant. Don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right. As far as Atari games go, this was the only one he did. I couldn't find that he did anything else. But Marauder was a computer game before it came out on the 2600. They made it for the Apple II, and it also came out for the Atari 8-bit computers. Rourke Regant on Regant's Apple II created Marauder, a simple two-part space seek and destroy game. The first part a hybrid of Space Invaders and Atari's Missile Command. The second a variation of Stern Electronics' Berserk. Each part represented an independent game and could be played either individually or in concession. Now obviously that's not like the 2600 version. They basically scaled it down. On the 2600 version you just get the Berserk part. Marauder was picked up by Ken and Roberta Williams, Online Systems, I guess that's Sierra Online, and published for the Apple II in 1982. Okay, now that same year, they were approached by Illinois-based toy manufacturer Tiger Electronics, who ended up being Tigervision for their games division, with a proposal to convert some of its best computer games into Atari 2600 versions. Tiger Electronics had reverse engineered the Atari console and created the subsidiary Tigervision to publish games for the aging but still immensely popular video game console. 3 programmers from Online Systems, among them John Harris, were flown out to Chicago to learn about the Atari 2600. Wigant went on to program a version of Marauder for the Atari 2600 under the Tigervision label. At only 128 bytes, the Atari 2600 had vastly less internal memory than the Apple II home computer, and with the cartridges only storing 4K of data, Wingate had to cut corners to make Marauder a possibility. When released later in 1982, the game only included the second part of the original Apple II game, the Berserk part that we played a little while ago. So I found that, and I look at this. Isn't this really cool? Look at that pretty that is. Wouldn't you just love to have that? Oh, that looks so nice. The box and everything. Wow, that's beautiful. All right, Tigervision. They didn't have like 10 or 12 games that they released for the 2600. Like a lot of these companies, they tried to jump in, take advantage of the the popularity of the home video game market, and everything. It didn't work out. I will say this: of every company out there, from top to bottom, they have some of the most rare games out there. All of their games are at least a 5, and they go all the way up to a 9. And River Patrol is a 9. Jawbreaker is a really good game. I did a video about that game also, and it's a great Pac-Man clone. I'll link that in the description if I want to watch that after this video. It's a great game, underrated, kind of forgotten about. Marauder though is a 6, so it's as you're going to find out here whenever I pull it up on eBay in a minute, it's expensive. Now I wanted to show let's look at the box again. Now it's kind of interesting. This is actually okay. I don't have a problem with this. It's actually pretty neat. This guy though, with the cape and everything, this weapon, this laser gun or whatever he's got, it almost looks like something you would see in a low budget 50 or 60s sci-fi movie. But I also noticed this ship in the background. It almost looks like a squunched up version of a Colonial Viper from the old Battlestar Galactica TV show from the late 70s. At least that's what I thought. Now the back of the box, I mean, I'm trying to figure out what this is. Okay, now you've got, it looks like these are tops that came off the floor, and you have more guys down in here. But what's he doing with it? I mean, is this supposed to be a torch, or is he going to beat somebody with that? I mean, he's got that, that laser gun in the first one, and I don't know. It's really weird. Anyway, who knows? But anyway, I think it still looks nice. I do. And their cartridges, you really can't appreciate it on looking at it here, but they had that recessed area on the bottom, with little grooves right there, and they were really cool. I don't actually own a Tigervision game. I never played a Tigervision game until the last few months. I never played one back in the early 80s. Never played one at all. But they did have some pretty cool looking cartridges. I wanted to see what I could find from Marauder as far as reviews go, and it took some serious digging, and there really wasn't much out there. This article in the February 1983 copy of Video Games Magazine is called Soft Spot, 15 Reviews, Old Wine in New Bottles, and it comes across more as almost a complaint about Me Too type copycat games. And it's kind of interesting because you get the sense of where this is all, where it will all eventually lead, with the market saturation and all. They had the games in this review in subcategories of the games they kind of copycatted or looked alike. So this is what they say: Tigervision's Berserk style offering Marauder is deceptive to the eye. Graphically, it's nothing special. The Marauder looks like a bloated question mark, and the robots resemble small, partially eaten chunks of Swiss cheese. But once you get by the deficiencies, you discover Marauder has enough drama and variations. For instance, the Marauder can don an invulnerable suit of armor to make for exciting gameplay. Not only do merciless robots follow you through the maze, but you have to find the power center and destroy it before time runs out. Marauder is one of those games that plays better than it looks. I think that's pretty spot on. Though you could say this is a kind of like a Berserk game. At least it does, like I mentioned earlier in the video, offer some different stuff, like the line of sight, and it's an overhead perspective, not a flat 2D perspective like Berserk was. And after combing through several other gaming magazines, the only thing I was able to find as far as reviews go were from this little, it's almost more of a pamphlet. It wasn't even a full magazine, the Video Game Update. And as I had mentioned in one of my previous videos, until I started doing this stuff, I'd never even heard of the Video Game Update. I never saw it back when I was a kid. But it's actually pretty cool. Another thing I've noticed about the Video Game Update, after reviewing several of the copies, is I feel like they are straight up sometimes and pretty hardcore on certain games, and they don't hold back. Sometimes on these video game magazines, you feel like sometimes they don't want to be too harsh. Maybe they won't get the free stuff, or maybe they'll get locked out from the companies. You know how that goes. That kind of thing has been talked about for years, even well beyond the Atari days, all the way up to in recent years, so to speak. But anyway, this is what they say about Marauder. Marauder is a game with simple but very clean graphics. It's lots of fun to play. The idea is that you've landed on an alien planet and you're about to penetrate the enemy base, which is defended by armed attack robots. Your character, the Marauder, must find his way to the heart of the base, where he'll find the power center of the enemy's weapon system. It's a race against time as the Marauder searches the 6 rooms of the enemy base. Each room is guarded by 4, 5, or 6 robots. More robots the longer you stay in the game. Each room is something of a maze, with obstacles scattered in the Marauder's way. What makes the game interesting is that the attack robots are invisible to you whenever there is a wall between the Marauder and the robots. You learn to be very wary about turning corners suddenly, because the robots are likely to be so close that your Marauder is a goner before you have time to react. Some rooms contain a flashing suit of magic armor, the sombrero. If you see that armor, quickly touch it to gain its magical powers. As long as your Marauder is flashing, he's invincible. The robots can't shoot the Marauder, and he can even destroy robots by crashing into them. The game can be played with robots that are slow, medium, fast, or extra fast, and the pace will pick up as you play. It worked better for us when we started out slowly. We tried it at extra fast, and the robots just about scared us to death. This is a thoroughly enjoyable game. Recommended. And they gave it, there was 2 different people that were reviewing the game for the magazine, and they gave it 3 and 3.5 stars out of 4. So they liked it. Okay, over here at eBay. Now, as we talked about earlier, this game is rare, so there's not a lot of listings. Only 9 total. The only 9 are even listed right now, and you can see loose cartridges go for 50, 60 bucks. Whole complete copies, $500, $749, 450 bucks. So there's a PAL version for $70. So you can see it's like you would expect. It's expensive. Now on the completed ones, there's been some that have been bought recently. All of them are loose. There's no complete copies, but 54. There's one just that's just for the box, 100 bucks. There's one for $50 or $29 from Spain. That's interesting. 50 bucks, so about $50 is what you're looking at if you want to pick up a copy of Marauder. And again, I love the way that their cartridges had that recessed area with the little grip on it. Pretty cool. All right, if you made it to the end, I appreciate it. You're a real diehard, and I thank you. I'd like to do a couple of shout outs. Shout out to Atari Age, and a shout out to the Internet Archive. I would also like to add, I've been messing around with Twin Galaxies a lot lately. If you like video games, period, doesn't even have to be retro, but I mean A to Z, old to new. It's a fantastic site if you think you're good enough to post records and compete. If you can post videos of your scores and everything, and if you're good enough, they'll put it up. It's got a great forum over there. It's a very extensive, deep site. So Twin Galaxies, check it out. It's really, really cool. All right, I'm going to sign off now. If you haven't subscribed and you're still here, you're killing me, man. You're killing me. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and please share this video. Right now, I am so close to being monetized. I just need a few dozen hours of watch time. That's all I like. So, all right, though. I appreciate y'all watching to the end. Take it easy. See you next time. Bye-bye.